Good morning. Welcome to the new moon in Capricorn. The video you're about to watch is a snippet of my heart healing group that I do with Jen Huber. We are going to be moving that into Pathfinders, rolling it all into one for February or for January 31st. But this was a really good episode, and I wanted to share it with you as the morning message. Basically, just how to anchor your intention for this new moon, any moon, but really this new moon in Capricorn, and how to work with the energy. So I just want to get a couple of cards. I'm just finishing up a reading for today to post today. But let's just get a couple of cards and then we'll get into the ritual. Protection. You're protected. And make sure you protect yourself whenever you do a ritual, whenever you're sort of connecting with the spirit guides. Make sure you do that. Lucky. All right. Some of you are having some good luck bestowed upon you. New life. This is actually what I've been really feeling about with this new moon in Capricorn energy, that what you're doing right now is you're anchoring a whole new life. So without further ado, hey, everybody. Happy. Welcome in. Today is Jen's birthday, and not coincidentally, or coincidentally, I guess it's coincidentally, we have a new moon in Capricorn tomorrow. That's at 20. I have to correct myself. Earlier this week, I said that the full moons are in 20 degrees, and the new moons for the next 6 months are in 5 degrees. It's backwards. The new moons for the next 5 or 6 months are in 20 degree at 20 degrees. So it's a really good beginning. It's a good degree for a new beginning because it's like 2/3 of the way through the sign. And so you have some wisdom. It's like being in your 40s, like you have some wisdom and you're still pretty. This kind of stuff. Those of us in our 50s, still pretty. All y'all still pretty.
Still pretty.
70s, 60s, 70s, everything. And then the full moon in Leo is happening on 25th of January at 5 degrees. Okay. So we're going to talk today about manifesting and anchoring in an intention with this new moon tomorrow. Okay. This is a super important new moon. The reason it is you probably know, Jen, is that Capricorn is in it for the long haul. Okay. So Capricorn has long haul energy to it. I just want to read you a few things about Capricorn and why, what the energy of Capricorn is. I looked at a whole bunch of different sites, and there's alignment with everything, but there's also different words. There's reserved, disciplined, determined, structured, hardworking, devoted, paternal, honest, wise, loyal, let's see, family-minded, overachievers. You'd be happy to hear this, Jen, because it's not just your Pisces moon. You're also sensitive and about practical matters, especially. Okay, so that's kind of really interesting. So the power that we're dealing with is this energy of Capricorn. And right now with Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, we've just got this kind of determination. All right. That's what it feels like. It's a determination. And what I want to impress upon you, though, is that at the final degree with Pluto at that final degree of Capricorn, and here we are, new moon at 20 degrees in Capricorn. What do you do as a mature person? You don't rush, you don't push, you don't freak out, it's just like, almost like nothing ruffles your feathers. You're in that energy of just consistent, stable Mabel. Okay. Stable Mabel energy. So I'm going to talk today and Jen and I are going to have a conversation about this, about really how to set an intention in this Capricorn full moon, because it is absolutely about anchoring in long-term goals. This is not about something that manifests in the next 60 days or 90 days or something like that, although they can. pieces or pillars of them can just start dropping down from the sky, right? To start building this kind of fortress with this Capricorn energy. And so before I get going here, I want to lay out a sort of a process for you to do this for yourself tomorrow, to do this for yourself on January 11th. I'm going to be posting this in the morning. So those of you watching as the morning message, this is a today job for you. So I want you to put it on your list, all right, to do today. And, you know, it happens at 3:57 a.m. Pacific time. So 6 a.m. in the morning, almost 7 a.m., right about when the morning message is being posted on the East Coast. The energy is going to be loud for the full day and for a day or two and all of that kind of stuff. So don't worry that like, oh my God, it's after. Don't worry about that. What are you saying, Jen? What do you think?
You said 6:57 a.m. Eastern?
Yes, it's 3:57 a.m. Pacific time, right? So it's 6:57. So it's almost 7 o'clock in the morning.
Man, for us in the United States, what a powerful time. Because on the East Coast, that sun's just about ready to come up.
Yep.
And on Pacific and everything in between, that time of the morning, that 3 a.m. to sunrise
Oh,
is
yeah.
super powerful.
I know. I'm not sleeping at all during that time these days. And we had a very big windstorm last night, and it started suddenly and it stopped on a dime. It was the weirdest thing, and it woke me up. It was so loud. I was like, oh, I have to send Jen some notes about our conversation. And I had crazy dreams about running a bath and then forgetting about it for 2 days in like an Airbnb. Like, don't ever do that. But it was just like the overflowing feeling of what's going on right now. I just feel this energy of overflowing. And for me, it's water. I don't know. Capricorn is earth energy, but for me, it's water right now. So, or feelings right now. So, I'm going to talk to you about my little process here. And then Jen, feel free to interject as we go. We are going to be talking about some crystals. So Jen's got some interesting things to show you. All right. So the first thing you're going to want to do, and you can do this, you know, anytime you can have this, do it now and use it forever and ever, amen, is to create some kind of sacred space. And all we really mean when we say create a sacred space is make an intention that you're going to clear away clutter. You're going to clear away, even if it's just a corner of a room, it should be private. It should be yours. You should be undisturbed when you're using this area. And you just clear that place. I want you to dust, vacuum, whatever you want to do, so it's not distracting. Get rid of any cobwebs or anything like that, so it's not distracting to you. And you're going to use maybe a candle, right? You're going to use any crystals that you want. It doesn't have to be this big lavish thing, but do what makes you feel good. I remember back when I was in my 30s, I had a little sacred space. It was like a little altar, and there was all these little things on it. And it was joy. It was just pure joy for me. And so I think when you're anchoring in a long-term intention, you want to have joy as part of it. So whatever brings you joy. Okay.
Can I add?
Yeah, go for it.
Energetically clear and bless that space when it's all in place. You know, like maybe clear it and then build it and then bless it.
So you would use sage to do that, or what else? Anything else you would use to do that?
You know what? I love Palo Santo.
Mm-hmm. I do
That's
too.
just what I like to use because it calls in your guides and your ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
It's very ceremonial feeling. It's, you know, sages as well, but I tend, in my personal preference, I use sage for like the really big cleanse,
Yeah.
which if you're building a sacred space, it might be nice to like clear with sage and bless with Palo Santo.
Good
Or
idea.
selenite wands is another thing you can use.
That's the one thing I didn't bring on I have a nice big selenite one, but I didn't bring it. You probably have some, but so you want to clear a sacred space. All right. First thing, clear a sacred space, peaceful and just yours. That's really the key. And getting the other energy out of it is really good, is really important. So between now when you're watching this and when you're doing that, when you're preparing to anchor your intentions or set your intentions. I want you to kind of review a little bit because we are talking about long-term goals, and I want you to kind of review your life. Just do a scan. Maybe tonight as you're journaling or whenever you're watching this, journaling about the parts of your life that are working and the ones that aren't working for you. And it's your, other people can see you as having this like maybe big career, but you're like, this isn't working for me. Right. Or having a long-term marriage and like, you know what, it needs change, or it needs revamping, or it needs ending, or it needs something. Like if it's not working for you, be honest with this is just for yourself, right? This is just for yourself. So do that scan. What parts of my life need my attention right now? What parts of my life am I looking out to the future with? Right. I've been doing Soulful Revolution for 6 years. Right now we're working on setting up a podcast. I'm going to be doing my little timing deck. These are little pieces of it, but I'm really looking to anchor Soulful Revolution in something that, is retreats, is kind of bigger. There's a lot of other pieces that I want to bring in, and I want to anchor that intention so that, I don't do them all in one day. I plant seeds and I say yes to things, and I do things. Some days I don't move that needle at all, but I know that I'm setting the intention, and an intention is different than a goal, because an intention says, I'm going to put action to this. Perfect Capricorn energy, right? So it might look like this. I want to create more peace in my life, and I will do this action. I will do this by limiting drama, by limiting time with relationships that create a lack of peace in me or a feeling of pressure. Maybe that means I need to have a conversation and get rid of that feeling. Or maybe that means I need to set that aside, or it's not a good thing for me right now. Whatever your intention is, I want to create more abundance in my life, and I am going to do that. How? Fill in the blank. You don't have to know everything, but you do know how you're willing to support that intention. What action are you willing to take? So, okay, I want to start a women traveling together business. I'm going to, I want to start my women's explorer, women's adventuring business. And I'm going to do that by researching great places, by joining Facebook groups about women traveling alone to discover what they want. I am going to look into doing a website. I'm going to look into what it means for insurance. This is Capricorn. Okay. This is Capricorn. And so you're just setting this kind of, this intention for yourself, and you don't have to put all of the things you're going to do. Just put the things in that occur to you now, and you can continue to work with this in your journal. Okay. You can continue to work with this intention. So in order to anchor this intention that you have, you can work with a candle. You can work with crystals, both. Okay. I like to light a candle and say my intention. Whenever you do a prayer around this intention, you light that candle. Basically, what you're doing is you're signaling to your subconscious that you are in alignment with an intention, because your subconscious, because you don't know what's going on in there, can derail it. So you might find that if you are on the path to starting your business or having the love of your life in your life, and you keep getting derailed, there's something there. There's shadow work to do. There's intentions that need to be, or not intentions, things that are pushing us off. We're not in alignment with that right now. So those things will show up, and you're like, how come I can't get to this? How come I keep saying I want to write a book, but every day goes by, I don't even look at writing notes. I don't even research. I don't even read. I'm not excited to do it. Why? Okay. This is the work of Saturn in your life. This is the Saturn ruling the energy of Capricorn. This is the energy of Saturn showing up saying, hey, there's more work to be done before you can get this thing rolling. And good news, darling, this is a long-term intention. So when you're anchoring it and you're using a candle, you're saying to your subconscious, heads up, this is the direction. And so it may go crazy, right? It may go crazy, like not let you do stuff. So when you're anchoring that, you can also anchor by using crystals. And, Jen is at a crystal store where she is right now. And I want to just share with you like some cool crystals that you could use if you wanted to. This is just, some of the things that I do. I mean, I have some really lovely rose quartz. I love the palm stones for some reason, right? You do too. I love the palm stones. So this is rose quartz, and this is about love, unconditional love, self-love, all kinds of love. Citrine, right? This beautiful kind of yellow color. You got one? This is cool energy of abundance, wealth, absorbs negative energy too. So you gotta work with that and clear that. There's black tourmaline. I have this beautiful, what is this? This is silver sheen obsidian.
Oh, yeah.
I got that in London. It's really cool. And that's about protection. Okay. Black tourmaline, black obsidian, any of those, even clear quartz is a good protector. Okay. So that's lovely. I have this pink tourmaline, which is about heart healing, which is a really beautiful stone. I don't know if you can see it because the light's kind of bad right now, but it is a beautiful, I love tourmaline. There's some tourmaline mines here in Maine.
That's
watermelon.
beautiful.
Isn't it cool? And so it's like watermelon tourmaline. I got this one in London too. And I reached for it, and the girl who owned the store was like, "Oh, damn, I was going to buy that today." She's like, "You have it. You have it." So the pink tourmaline, have this cool amethyst kind of geode. The lighting isn't as good as I hoped it would be for me to show you this, but amethyst moves you into a higher stream of consciousness, right? So if you're really hoping to open up your intuition or doing something like that, labradorite, excellent for that, right? Labradorite, I have this big giant ball of labradorite. You got some wands?
I got this really cool wand.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that.
In this part.
Oh my goodness, look at that. That is beautiful.
What's that? Chatoyance?
That's cool. What?
Chatoyance is that the right word? Chatoyance?
Yeah, I think so. I have a similar heart, but this is Amazonite. This is the
That's great.
twin flame heart. This is the twin flame heart. So you can use any crystals or whatever. Essentially, when you're anchoring in an intention with a crystal, and Jen, you may have another kind of way of doing this, but I like to hold it in my hand and feel the crystal and sort of imagine the energy of the intention. And you're basically flowing the energy into the crystal. Again, like the candle, you're giving yourself, anytime you're touching it, it's like a touchstone for that intuition, right? Or an intuition for your intention. So anytime, use it then. Have it on your bedside when you wake up. It's like the first thing you see. These are reminders, and this is also another sort of signal to your subconscious that you mean business, okay? Because every time you see it, you're like, oh yeah, I want to write that book, okay? And then if stuff starts happening, if you start getting blocks and everything, good. This is what Saturn does to us, and it's something that is very helpful because you need it, right? There's something blocking what you want to create. So you're making this kind of mental intention whenever you're picking up that crystal, or when this is about shifting into the alignment of the intention, right? Shifting into the alignment of the intention. So I like that kind of anchoring. I know there's a lot of different kinds of ways of doing this. And then I just close it with a prayer of gratitude. It's that simple. It's 4 steps. create the sacred space, set your intention, anchor it in candle or crystal. That's what I like to use. And then a prayer of gratitude. I am so deeply thankful that the universe is on my side about this.
Mhm.
And that's it. I don't know if you have other kinds of rituals you like to use.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because when you asked that question, I was like, wow, this is actually what I want to talk about is I actually fell away from doing the rituals when I moved to Atlanta because I had such intention and ritual done with the sunrise. And when I lived at my house in
Oh, I
Washington,
remember.
right, I could see it every day and I can't see it in Atlanta. And I thought, wow, I could really feel the difference in me and missing the ritual. So my comment is, you know, I can tell a difference when I haven't been doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I like to, especially with you're talking about the grounding, I like to incorporate nature in it. That's what, you know, stones are nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to get outside and do a lot of stuff outside sometimes because the messages can flow through you. You know, when we're inside and we're meditating, we're connected here, and you might hear some guidance and see some things. But then when we go outside, sometimes we can actually get some physical signs, you know, a bird flies or something like that. And it makes it kind of fun with beautiful confirmation. I
I
like that.
love that. I had an eagle fly over my car the other day,
Oh my
which
gosh, that's
I know,
awesome.
which I mean, around here, like we live kind of near, well, a mile from the beach, but like near a river and everything. So there, you do see eagles. It's not like it's totally weird, but when it flew over the car, it was just like, woo, like I could just see it like
Right.
wingspan, like huge wingspan. It was just insanely beautiful. So immediately I'm like, oh, the eagles, the eagle has landed.
Eagle has landed. Yeah, that's such a powerful, powerful spirit guide. Um, the other thing that I really liked what you said was about the feeling of Capricorn. And so remember when we're doing this manifestation, these long-term goals is to have some feeling in it because we want to be manifesting from here, not here. And so the first thing I always do is do whatever I can do to drop myself down into my heart before I start a ritual. Maybe it's some breathing, maybe it's a meditation, maybe it's a walk, maybe it's something, but it's not something that I'm like running from one thing to the next to do, trying to cram it in, right? So
Amen.
making sure that you're in that space. But those tips, yeah, I mean that's exactly fire right there.
I just think it's cool. And the reflection part of it, like before you even start with the creating the space, and I love absolutely what Jen is saying about anchoring in a meditation or dropping into your heart. That's really a very important thing. When you're reflecting on what is working, what is not working in your life, because it is about it's working or it's not working. That's Capricorn energy, right? You got to think about that all the time when, what kind of moon we're dealing with. So you could do this for any kind of new moon, any of the signs, but you think about what's the energy of Gemini, what's the energy of Pisces, and you might even look in your own birth chart and see what house that sign is in. So for me, it's in the third house, the house of my community, the house of my siblings, the house of my close friends, people that I see all the time. And so there can be an intention there for me about anchoring in the community more. I don't work in this community really. So luckily I have a lovely set of friends that, I have here, and we're starting to do stuff together more consistently and doing a little traveling and doing a little stuff. So that's really cool, right? Like that feels anchored right now. It feels like it's an anchor for me. And people sometimes even say that, like I feel unanchored, right? Or I feel ungrounded. Um, I was watching something the other day and I thought this was really remarkable because there's a lot of, when we're working with our spiritual energy, we're working with our intuition, right? We're talking about connecting to higher realms, and we're talking about the quantum plane and all of this stuff. The 3D is not a bad thing. The 3D anchors us in our We have this 3D body. We're here to learn on this plane. We have somatic senses, all of these things. And you might have had the experience of getting a reading from someone who's ungrounded. And in that sense, they're not really giving you practical information. It's something it feels, it's just a knowing, it's a feeling of like, this isn't really grounded in anything. I can't really, and so a really good reading or when you're doing this for yourself is to be like vertical and horizontal, to be able to know how to integrate these two things. And that's something that Capricorn can teach us, right? Capricorn is about consistency and persistence and being able to do the work of, okay, intuition is coming in. How do I anchor it in my life? How do I bring that in? So all of these things really excited me when I was making the notes last night. And reflect on your life, reflect on what's working, reflect on. So here's some journal prompts for you if you're doing this right now. What lights me up? What lights me up? What do I want less of in my life? What do I want more of in my life? I'm going to this is very Capricornian. I'm taking full responsibility for everything that's in my life. And Jen talks about this all the time about turning the pronoun around. So if I feel like someone did something to me, how did I do it to myself? How was I present in that moment? How can I take responsibility for something? That's where power is. That's where real power is. What excuses do I make for not having my dream? And try not to beat yourself up with this, but like, how am I procrastinating something? What excuses am I making? Because that's Saturn talking, man. Like Saturn is kind of the hard teacher. And so you can't shy away from that stuff. Like, how am I procrastinating on that book? Why? Maybe I don't feel like I have anything to say. Maybe
Right.
maybe I really feel like, oh, that's so egoic for me to think that I could write a book. Instead, shift into the energy of what I've learned, can that help other people? Right? What boundaries for myself am I neglecting, Amy? That's exactly right. What perfectionism is stopping me?
Mm-hmm.
All of that.
Because we've done so much work over the last 6 months in this group about core wounds. All of these procrastination things are, when you start boiling it down, will come down to a fear and a belief. And so you've learned over the last 6 months to kind of be like, dial that down and find it and sit with that core wound. And then you can set an intention for healing.
Mm-hmm.
That
Right.
way,
Because if it's not grounded, you won't know where it comes from.
you got to know
Right.
your why.
I got to know the why. And I like what you're saying about like, there's the thoughts and then there's the belief and then there's the conviction. It's like calcified belief. It's like, this is something very few people look at their convictions. Most people will look at their beliefs because it's not, but convictions are like, this is who I am. And to really look at that is very courageous. Be curious. I love it. Amy, exactly right. Be curious, especially about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing this? Or why am I not doing? Why I say to myself all the time when I say yes to do something I don't want to do, and I get ready to go do it, I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
It happens all the time because I'm a people pleaser from long time ago. And so that has been a thing for me to really work on. Just, I'm busy, or this isn't going to work for me right now, or, just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. So Saturn really, and again, whenever we talk about Saturn, which is the ruling planet of Capricorn, when you do the work, Saturn leaves a gifty. And you don't do it for that reason. It's just one of those, like, it's an unexpected kiss from the universe.
Yeah. It's kind of like the more you do, the bigger the reward is, kind of Saturn's energy, the harder you work. But But when we say hard work, the dogs, that's like the perfect ego thing, right? We said hard work and the mind's like, uh-oh, we're fixing to get called out. But so much of the hard work from the mind can be like going back to that, beating yourself up or shaming yourself or pushing yourself past your limits, not doing healthy things like the old outdated ways that we were all kind of raised in our society, is you go the extra mile constantly. It doesn't matter how you feel. That's coming from that ego place, or that shadow place, like you talked about in your morning message this morning. So like we talked about last week, like where's that intention coming from? So hard work means, I'm going to be true to who I am, those kinds of things. And being in flow, being able to kind of like step into things effortlessly. Practice. You know what? That would be even a greater word than work, would be practice.
I like that word. I turned off my microphone so you didn't hear the dogs explode. Thank you, Jen, for covering up the UPS man. Because you're FedEx. So, right? So thank you for that. Yeah, I like that word. I like that word. Practice. And I'm a wordsmith. That was my craft. That's what I learned to do. The English language is so fascinating. There's like 100 words for every single feeling. There's 100 words for different kinds of things. And if you're finding yourself limiting your vocabulary, you're also holding yourself back, because the words you use can be blocks in themselves. Okay.
Right. So like when you're manifesting, you can say things like, I'm choosing to surround myself around positive people.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Right.
then you're anchoring in positive versus, I'm not hanging out with anybody I don't like. Like you're
100%.
moving the needle to more of that higher vibrational words.
Absolutely. And I was saying this in Pathfinders today, that you are like the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so the people can have real impact on you. You notice that when you're around more negative people, you're saying more negative things, or the vocabulary changes. My mother used to know who I was hanging out with at school because of my vocabulary.
Wow.
And she would know. She's like, you're spending too much time with that Kelly. And but it's true. And like I think it was in The Crown, this girl had a big crush on Chamberlain, or not Chamberlain, on Churchill. And he's like, I'm like 70, right? And she was like 24. And he told her, to go and find somebody her own age. So she picked up his biography from when he was 24. And she spent the time in the company of someone remarkable. And that can work. That can work because, you're being around people who are stretching you and who are bringing you into new realms. You don't ever even have to meet them in person. Think of all the brilliant people that you've come across in Audible books and podcasts and all that stuff. Spend the time in the company of the people who are where you want to go.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you spend time with Kelly, you're never going to get there.
Yeah.
All due respect to Kellys of the world. Yeah.
Act as if. Throw your shoulders
if.
back and act as if it's already happened.
Yes. Agreed.
Because on a timeline somewhere, it already has. So
yes. I think that's the interesting thing. I think that's
Charlie agrees.
Charlie. Oh my God. So that's what I wanted to say in terms of the exercise for you guys. And if you have any questions or anything, I see there's a couple questions, and then I thought maybe Jen, if you would do us the honor of doing another journey today, I think that would be awesome. So
cool.
let's go for
a couple new ones here.
Do it. Show us.
So this is golden calcite, and they're like cut in these super cool. Gosh, I wish you could see light, right? These are cut in look at the quadrants in that.
Oh my God, I love it. Golden calcite, is that what that is?
Right. It can also, it's just This is amazing.
It's beautiful. Do you know what the healing property of golden calcite is?
It's going to be more of a healer.
Yeah.
I'd have to look this one up, but this is one that we bought here at the store when we were in Asheville, specifically for manifesting, because whether or not on paper it's good for manifesting, I'm sure it is to some degree, we could feel it when we picked them up. So that is
That's
really
so
cool.
awesome. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
really beautiful.
What is
'Cause
that,
I
a
have a different,
rhombus?
that's like a
yeah, that one
rhombus.
is. Mhm.
It's a rhombus. I have a different kind of calcite. This is a fairy stone. So it's like that beach sand. This is a
Yeah.
different kind of calcite. And this is like it's called a fairy stone. So it's kind of like the energy of the fairies bringing you, the fairies come, right? Bringing you what you're manifesting. So same idea.
Mhm.
I
This,
love that.
this is pyrite.
Beautiful.
This is a super manifester. This strengthens your mental focus and clarity.
I like it.
It's very heavy, very heavy.
It's very dense.
Mm-hmm. And very earthy.
I like that.
Giselle was wondering, can you please repeat which crystal is the twin flame crystal?
Oh yeah, well, there's probably more than one, but this is the one I got. I did get this before I went to London. I forget where I picked this up, but this is Amazonite. And let's see, do I have the little thing? Oh, there's the fairy stone one. Yeah, Amazonite. And it's the stone of truth, and it's about the integration of masculine and feminine, encourages one to express one's true heartfelt thoughts and feelings, teaches one the importance of living one's life with integrity. For those who are unclear about what they want or feel, Amazonite can help one gain clarity without being influenced by other people. It also helps to bring happiness, joy, encouraging one to be optimistic and pursue one's dreams and manifest them into reality. So I know this stone as the twin flame like the integration of masculine and feminine because of that true heartfelt energy, right? It's like the underpinning of twin flame is really about understanding unconditional love. So there's that. What else did I have here? This one. Do you have anything else?
Dendritic agate. This is my manifestation stone, that like my coffee stone, my manifesting stone. These are all three the same stones, but see how very different they are? That's kind of a clear.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Look at that.
So what I like about agate, that's super, super, super earthy and grounding,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a manifester. So this to me is like if you had links in the chains of stones, like stones were higher vibrational, more like angelic, like quartz, and then you had lower, not lower vibration, but earthier,
Earthier, yep.
grounding. This one would be like the link that marries the two together. That and labradorite does the same thing.
I think so. Say that name again. What's the name of that stone?
This is dendritic agate. And so you can see the difference. Like this one's kind of clear, and then this one's kind of white. And then you have, this one, which looks like
wow. Isn't that cool? Dendritic.
dendritic agate. I love, love, love this
Oh
stone.
my God, that's so beautiful. That is cool.
Then I brought in clear quartz just like you with these.
Yeah. I have another, I never show this one, but I love this one. It's really beautiful. Oh, look at that one. That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I always come through the airports with a bunch of stones in my suitcase, and they're like, really, you're bringing rocks in your suitcase?
Pretty much.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. And then one last one. This is yellow hematoid, and you can kind of see through it too. And this is called the golden healer. Anything that has that yellow hematoid in it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So
I love it.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Lots of cool stuff. All right, if you like this type of video, please don't forget to hit the like button. That will get other people seeing this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe so you get notified of new content. I just want to say that the manifesting energy of a new life, especially of a new life, is really loud right now. And so thank you for all of you who come to this channel. I want to say how grateful I am. Let's manifest something really cool for 2024 and beyond. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.